This Spain case has come to light in July 2020 globally. It's been picked up by the international news agencies, the Times as well as the BBC. This news has come about because of the corruption and the money laundering and the financial fraud that occurred in this case. Now, this case is a Spain case conducted by the former king of Spain, who actually delivered Spain from 1975 dictatorship, and then he was abdicated from his throne in 2014 by his son. So as of 2014, Spain is led by his son, and so this king is now a living former king within Spain. So his case was about during his days. The crime started around between early 1990s and 2012. So let's concentrate on the black and the blue writings and arrows face to attempt to describe the case. So this case was originated in Spain by the former king of Spain. His name is Juan Carlos. Now, Juan Carlos as the king of Spain, at the time Spain won a contract. This contract was to be done and to be effected in Saudi Arabia. Now, he was a close friend of late king, but at the time of investigation in July 2020, there was no connection between the close relationship between the former King Carlos as well as the late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia. Although they are close, there was no connection between these two. But however, the contract that was won by Spain government to build railway stations in Arabia amounted to 6.7 billion euro. So when this case came up in July 2020, it came about because of the findings of the arrows here. So the current investigation believed that there were kickbacks paid to two Swiss banks' accounts, namely a Panama-based account called Luckham Foundation or Luckham Foundation, and the other one is Zakatka Foundation based in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a state that's located around close to Germany and Austria, somewhere around there this country is based. So these two foundations, the Luckham Foundation as well as the Zakatka Foundations, they both actually function as accounts held in Swiss bank accounts. So Luckham, for example, as we talk about this account has already been liquidated in 2012, but it actually received around 100 million US dollars as a gift from this contractor of the railway paid into the Panama account. Okay, that's one of the findings, the current findings. The other findings was that during the time of King Juan Carlos as a king of Spain, he has a mistress called Corina. Corina is actually a German businesswoman but based in the United Kingdom. So she actually the mistress of Juan. Now, at the time of investigation, Juan claimed that she had loans from Luckham Foundation. Luckham Foundation actually paid Juan around 62 million euro. 62 million euro from Lacan Foundation to Mistress. That's another current finding of this case. Now, because these two have a connection as a relationship between them, and as well as this foundation, which is a beneficiary of Juan, received a paid bike from rail contracts, as well as paid a gift to Corina. This is the interest of this case, which is currently in conduct. And also, Corina is claimed to have a contract between her and Carlos that the funds that they received, the 62 million pounds received from Lacan Foundation, was not actually a gift, it's actually a loan. So the claim of gift and loan is currently debatable by the investigations. So as it is now, based on the BBC news, Corina claimed to have a contract that's signed by Carlos, which says that the gift that's paid from Lacan to her account was actually an irrevocable gift, which means that it cannot be reversed. So if anything happens, Corina is going to keep the proceed claim as a gift of loan, because one of the clause of the contract between Corina and Carlos was that to claim that the funds are actually a gift and they are irrevocable gifts. So we look at this one like Lacan Foundation as the beneficiary, John Carlos as the beneficiary foundation, and then we can look at the discussion here. And the other one was that the Liechtenstein Foundation, the beneficiary is actually not Joan, but his cousin. Now, this cousin actually paid some of the money in this foundation for Juan's holiday in Tahiti. And the funds that involved here was 37,000 USD. And also there were jet flight payments of 7.5 million paid by this foundation to travel flights that's all related to Juan Carlos travels. So the current investigation is actually looking at if there are incidences of financial crime, money laundering, and as well as other money laundering and fraud involved here. So because of these new findings, the interest of this case is now becoming a global trend, and it's also a concern to Spain itself. The other thing about this foundation, it's also receive funding from unknown source. So unknown sources globally actually wired in funds from other parts in the world into this foundation. So this foundation is quite interesting. And also, as I've said, during Juan's birthday celebration in Tahiti, this foundation also paid 37,000 USD birthday party celebration expenses. And as well, this 37,000 was not paid to Tahiti directly. It's actually paid to another beneficiary of Juan in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is actually facilitating another trustee that will eventually, if this trustee is able to pay these funds back to Juan or to other trustees, these are the interests of this case. So the takeaway of this case, which is no one is actually guilty at this stage in July 2020 as of the date of the current investigation, what is of interest is that the powers that Juan occupied prior to this information is quite interesting. So the investigation, especially for money laundering investigation, it aims to link back if there is a connection between his activities as well as all these things, because he is now a beneficiary of two offshore foundations. As we also discussed in some of our other presentations, that it's always a high risk for trustees or holding entities that are located in tax haven, as well as tax haven, as well as other countries that been highlighted, such as Hong Kong, Panama, as well as British Isles. Countries that can able to hide information of leaders' conduct in the international banking system. These are the interest of this case. So this case, as we call the former King of Spain and the money laundering issues, is actually currently going on as we speak. So it is very interesting to visit this case in the next 6 months. But it is a kind of case that should be of interest to investigators, financial investigators, money laundering investigators, anti-money laundering investigators. So the link of this case, you can access it here. Actually, it's published from the UK Telegraph as well as the BBC in 20 July, as well as the 19 July for the BBC and 20 July for UK. So part of the knowledge and understanding of financial crime, that is why I put this one for interested financial investigators in the field of financial fraud, corruption, as well as money laundering. Thank you so much.